What's up, guys? Wade Willis here for Wade's Weeb Reviews, here to break down episode 11 of Fruits Basket, the final season. We got what we were waiting for 3 years. Kyo actually kissing Toru when she's coherent, and also, like, it looks like most of the ties were broken all the way. That seems like that was kind of important too, but for real, everyone was more excited about Toru and Kyo kissing. But this episode was absolutely beautiful, tugged at your heartstrings in so many different ways. And yeah, guys, before I break down the episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Trying to reach my goal of 2,000 subscribers, getting pretty close, so if you're not already subscribed, please do. I absolutely loved Kyo's confession to Toru. It was so beautiful and raw, and it was what we were all hoping for his like confession of love to her. And we've known they've loved each other for a long time. They just haven't been able to say it to each other. Finally, Kyo like admits like that he was kind of a dick in the situation, admits that he was wrong, and confesses his love. And it was fantastic. They kiss. I thought when he kissed her when she was like fell off the cliff, he kissed her on her forehead, but someone in the comments for my reaction video actually told me he did kiss her on the lips there too. Um, Kind of like a sleeping beauty type thing. And then he asks to hug her, and they like hug, and I'm like sitting there thinking, okay, are they just doing like slow motion, like in anime, how it's been like 2 episodes, but it's been like 30 seconds in real time? Like I'm like unsure of like if this is the actual amount of time that they're embracing or everything's slowed down. And we don't get our answer right away. It flashes to Toru meeting with Akito, and kind of the one thing that really stuck out to me, she was talking to Akito, saying that like how raw like her emotions were from her loneliness and just like seeing her crying about it. Like Toru saw that as like innocence and like purity, which I thought was really an interesting way to look at it. Normally you wouldn't, especially with all the actions that Akito's doing. The empathy to like kind of see everything from that perspective is really interesting to me, and like not normal. Yeah, I really love that moment, and I like the friendship that has like developed between Toru and Akito. And Akito is kind of like Toru is almost taken the place of Kureno in her life. But this is a different friendship because there's not like a weird hierarchy thing or something where like Kureno feels like the ties were broken, so he feels like guilty. Like Toru, I mean, she may feel guilty about things that have happened to Akito because Toru's in that whole realm now. But it is like it does seem like a real friendship that's starting, and she's kind of leaning on Akito or Toru in that way, and I love it. Toru's the perfect person for someone like Akito to get out of the darkness and loneliness that her life has been. Like I cannot think of a better character in any anime to help someone like Akito move forward with a normal life. And then we have the flashback of how the whole Zodiac thing started. With the god being lonely, a cat came and visited him, which I was like, what? The cat's the first one? And it was different than I expected it starting, but it all made sense. We see that he ends up, I mean, there's the other animals that show up for a banquet, but the cat is dying, so they do like this thing where he kind of like serves the cat this immortality drink that all of the Zodiacs, including the god, drink as well. Yeah, I just didn't expect it to happen that way. The intentions of everything were very genuine, and this kind of shows us how like a lot of times like genuine intentions can end up having really negative consequences later on. And I mean, we see that time and time again in society. Like, things that we do to try to like help people sometimes end up like hurting them worse. The part that really got to me the most emotionally in the whole episode, and I don't know if it was the same for anyone else, but really the part where the cat is like upset about being fed this drink, and the cat is talking about how like just a moment with the god, and knowing him just briefly would have been enough. Like, he didn't want to live on forever, and that was just such a powerful scene to me. And for me, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys have seen the Demon Slayer movie, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's like a discussion with a character in there, and he talks about how what makes humans actually special in their lives means something is that they're so finite and so short. Um, Whereas, like, if something's immortal, it makes life kind of a lot less special, and their lives have less meaning. Um, and it kind of reminded me of that a bit, and I thought that was really interesting. And then we see like how the kind of rift between the cat and the rest of the Zodiacs begins, because a lot of the Zodiacs took it as offense that the cat did not want to live on forever with them, and didn't really try to see it from the cat side, where, hey, like, I've lived long enough, and this, it was so happy that I got to like meet all of you, and like I'm grateful for it. Like, the cat was content with his life, but the others felt that like he should have been more grateful that he was given like immortality and all that, and he's kind of like cast aside by all of them. So we see how all of that started, and I do want to point out someone who like comments on my videos for Fruits Basket a lot. Their name on here is I'm Watching You People, and they said they related this to how when people kind of like have a like do not resuscitate thing in their file, and if they're taken into emergency room, they don't want to be revived, and they just, maybe they have cancer or something, and they've just had such a hard life, and a lot of times family members are so quick to like take offense to that, when we really should just look from the other person's perspective. They're content with their life, and we shouldn't make them live any longer. And I thought that was such a good point. I didn't think anything in that realm at that point, but after like reading that comment, I was like, wow, that kind of like reminds me, like there's very few places where like euthanasia is like legal. I think like Oregon or Portland might be one of them. If you guys don't know that, it's like if someone's very sick, they can medically be like end their life. Like, a doctor can do it for them. I think Oregon is one of the only places that allows it in the whole country, and it's generally illegal. Why should we force someone to like go through all this suffering where they're like in so much pain, and make them live like a horrible life when they don't want to? I don't know. I just think it's interesting, and it made that whole comment made me really think about how, I mean, that's kind of the reason why that is illegal in our country. I don't know about other countries. I think it's illegal in a lot of other countries in the world, and I'm from the United States, by the way. And then the real reason this like whole thing was a curse is because like it was like the forced bonds on them. Yes, each animal is represented, and they're reborn, but like you're forcing bonds on like a new human each time, which to my knowledge they don't really remember their past lives. So this person who has no choice is forced into a bond with someone, and this group of people. And I mean, when you think about it, like that is a curse, and it did have good intentions in the beginning, and the cat was the only one that didn't want it but was forced in it, and then eventually, after time, it seems like almost no one wants the bonds. we get like a big shocker to me, and we see virtually every person's bonds broken. I think there may have been one or two we didn't see broken, but we see that Toru is actually able to hold Kyo, which in my opinion, I thought they were gonna have like every single person's bonds break over the last like 3 episodes, and like in the last one, Kyo's was gonna break. That's how I expected everything to happen, but apparently that's not how it's happening, and the whole montage of seeing each Zodiac member deal with feeling the ties being broken was so powerful. It was a perfect scene showing that. And I'm not like a huge fan of montages usually, but that was perfection of a montage. And it seems like kind of the last straw of the ties breaking was like Akito like giving up on it, or like accepting it. And I had a few people say that it's because of the time. I think it is a mixture of the two. Like Shigure did say that it was going to end, he expected in like 2 years. You can't really like say for sure. I would say that since we saw like, I don't know, at least like 7 breaking at one point in time, I would say Akito like seemingly coming to grips with everything was probably the catalyst that like broke it all the way. But yeah, time was the major factor, and then having a god that was willing to accept the end of it was really, for me, the catalyst. At least in my opinion, maybe we'll get a better explanation in the next 2 episodes. But that's how I'm kind of taking it, and how I want to take it uh, before the next 2 episodes. But yeah, I was so surprised that we had all these break, because I was expecting that to be spread out, and I'm like, we have like 2 episodes left. Like, what the hell are they even going to do in the last 2 episodes? We still have Ren hasn't been evolved really in the last like what 3 or 4 episodes, and she was trying to stab Akito not too long ago. So I think something is going to go on with her. I would assume we're going to get some like stuff moving forward in time, and seeing how people are adjusting to this new life, not being bound to a god. But yeah, I am so excited. I'm so glad I just started this series overall. Like it is so well done. Just how they discuss like mental health, um, how parenting, like and poor parenting, can really like mess with people's heads, and the major effects from that, and just there's just so many ideas and things that are that they dive into so deeply in this show. I can't find anything that does as good of a job as Fruits Basket getting into some of these topics. But I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on the episode. Let me know in the comments below.